right, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about something. It's kind of familiar territory. It's kind of new territory. But today we're going to be talking about, or a little bit about, LucasArts, to Lucasfilm Games. There's a new game that is right around the corner. It's upon us after lots of delays. It is finally being released. That is Lego Star Wars, the complete Skywalker Saga is coming out on April the 5th. So that's just a couple days away from here. And I'm myself am very excited about it. Cassie, are you excited about Lego Star Wars?
Yeah. It looks charming. It looks high quality. And I'm just excited for us to finally be able to see it out in the wild, and just to cover our bases in case it's somehow delayed yet again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say if it gets delayed, we're still going to release it as if, this episode as if it's coming out, but
that's right. Yeah.
It can't be delayed anymore. I'm pretty sure it's gone gold. So
it can't. Yeah, that's right. I have my copy on order. So I'm just waiting for it to show up at my door. That being said, I am a little wary until I actually get it in my hands. I don't know if I'll believe it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out on April the 5th. So yeah, very excited about that game. Everything I've heard about it is that it's awesome. Some people are starting to talk about it, like have gotten review copies online that I've seen, and people seem to be blown away with how big it is and everything. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Another installment in Star Wars and video game history. And yeah, we kind of wanted to just talk about that a little bit today. Now, I think it's safe to say that Cassia, you and me are big fans of a Star Wars video game. Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. You could say maybe we're a little bit, too in love with this game, but I think that the people listening to this podcast probably are also a little bit too much in love with that game, and that's okay because that game is great. So we've spent a lot of time talking about that game, so we wanted to talk about some of the other games, from LucasArts now all the way up to Lucasfilm Games, and to kick us off, I wanted to kind of just run through a little bit of the history of LucasArts. Like, how did it come to be, and where is it now? So basically, way back in the day, so you have, like, in 1982, George Lucas wanted to branch out into other forms of media. He's a very kind of technologically advanced guy. He wanted to, kind of dip his toes into all of these things. So in 1982, they started Lucasfilm Games, and it was a partnership with Atari to basically start, producing these games. They weren't making any games in-house. They were kind of licensing them out, and they had a few LucasArts games. And then the first Star Wars video game was Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. On the Atari, it came out in 1982, I believe, and that was kind of what kicked off the Star Wars video games. And you had kind of this path where they're just doing some licensing before eventually in 1990, LucasArts Entertainment Company was founded, and that was like an umbrella sort of a thing. So you had Industrial Light and Magic, you had Skywalker Sound, and you had the LucasArts Video Games division in there before they all kind of splintered off into their own individual things. So at that point, then you had LucasArts, which is, famous for their point-and-click adventure games, which are some of my favorite games of all time, into a bunch of the Star Wars games, the early, like, PC CD-ROM type of games. And they ran for a really long time, from 1990 until 2013, when unfortunately LucasArts closed. Disney bought Star Wars, and they shuttered the door a year later on LucasArts. There were some reasons behind that. I guess at the time, a lot of the LucasArts employees were also working for ILM, so they were basically doing two jobs, and they wanted to kind of focus everyone's attention into the ILM department to, get ready for episode 7 and things like that. So they decided they were going to let Electronic Arts, EA, start making Star Wars games, and they weren't going to do any video game stuff in-house anymore. So EA takes the license, from, kind of near history, not that long ago. So you had the Battlefront games, you had Jedi Fallen Order, and then Star Wars Squadrons, and those were all that we got from Electronic Arts. And a lot of people were not very happy about that. They said, there's been a lot of Star Wars games for all of these years. We need more Star Wars games. What are you doing? Give us more Star Wars games. So, last year, 2021, Lucasfilm announces Lucasfilm Games is coming back. So they have their new logo. They have plans for some new games that, including the Lego Star Wars game here. And everything is back up and running. Now, as of right now, Lucasfilm Games is just doing like licensing for the games. They're not making any games in-house. I don't know if that will ever change in the future. I mean, Disney has always done video games, but it's always been on kind of a licensing front. So I would expect that to kind of be the same. But I mean, it's still exciting that they're, taking a look at opportunities for video games, giving us some new stuff. And yeah, we have a lot of really fun stuff on the horizon. But I guess, Cassio, why don't we start with, obviously KOTOR. That's probably our favorite Star Wars game, I would guess. And that's probably a lot of people's listening's favorite Star Wars game. But, set KOTOR to the side, right? It's up on this pedestal. We can't quite get there, but what were some of your other favorite Star Wars games, or did you play other Star Wars games growing up? Were you like a big video game kid coming up, or was it just KOTOR that got you into it? Or what was your kind of Star Wars video game story, I guess?
Oh, that's funny. My parents never wanted me to be into video games, so they did the logical thing, which is they didn't get a video game like device.
Okay.
Station.
What
do we call that? Yeah,
Yeah.
But like it really kind of backfired because all it did is like if I went to someone else's house who like had them, like I just would be like, oh, I'm zoned in and I love this and it's like the most amazing thing ever,
Yeah.
So like lesson learned, if you don't want your kids to be into video games, like just buy them video games, like have them grow up with them and they'll probably not be into them,
Yeah, there you go.
I remember when I finally got a PS2, my first games were not Star Wars games. It was Treasure Planet and
okay.
Harry Potter 2. There were so many Harry Potter games. I loved like all of them. I played them up until about 5, I want to say. Mm-hmm. But the only one I really didn't like was Harry Potter 4. It knows what it did, like.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
But it's like I had a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Like there were all these different kind of games, but nowadays it's kind of like you get one game, like there's not like 4 different versions of like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, like one for Game Boy Color, one for Game Boy Advance, and one for PS, like PlayStation, Xbox, all that. But some of the games I grew up with, Star Wars, I would say like Star Wars Battlefront 2. Those are probably the games of my childhood, kind of mixed in with the Harry Potters, just like I'm nostalgic and just kind of thinking about how we would like play video games after school,
Yeah.
And wait until it got dark to play night games, like that's like Cassia's like little childhood memory, like a little slice of pie right there. But
yeah, for sure.
I loved Battlefront 1 and 2. So sad we never got a Battlefront 3. One day, maybe, and then I really did like Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where you play as Jango Fett. I thought that was a unique kind of origin story that kind of explained like how Jango got to where he was. Jedi Academy, like Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. Those are some of the Star Wars ones I grew up with. And then I don't know, I'm actually kind of ambivalent, towards KOTOR 1 and 2. Like, I think they're overrated, and, the less we talk about them, the better, So what are some games you grew up with?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't need to talk about those games. You couldn't possibly talk about those games for at any at any
Yeah.
length of time. But yeah, I mean, I remember I have a lot of good memories playing those first Battlefront games too, Battlefront 1 and 2. I think they came out in like 2003, 2005. And one of the things I liked about that was you could play like the two-player like co-op mode through the missions. So I was like doing that kind of stuff. Now I'm a fair bit older than you, so I mean I grew up kind of on those early PC CD-ROM games. So I always really liked stuff like the Rebel Assault games, which were like full motion video, where you're basically playing as Luke Skywalker, but that's not really your name because it's a different actor. So they call you. It's called like Rookie One or something. I think they call you in the game, but it's really cool. You got to like play through the Star Wars story, which was really fun. Yeah, I mean, I always like that stuff. You had like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter back on the old computer game. And I mean, even like more recently, like stuff like Jedi Fallen Order, which is kind of like right in my wheelhouse of things that I like in video games. You and I have talked about this a little offline, especially with the movie coming out, but Uncharted, that's one of my favorite games. And Jedi Fallen Order is kind of, along those same kind of vein as that, where it's really like story driven and things, and I like games like that. That's part of the reason why I always really liked LucasArts games, because kind of their bread and butter, aside from doing the Star Wars games, was they were really big into point and click adventures. Now, anyone listening who is too young to really remember those, because they still kind of exist, but not in the same level as they did. They were kind of like mystery games, puzzle games, and things where you would move around and have to combine items, and you had your inventory and things, and you were trying to like play through the story, and LucasArts was really good at games like that. So a couple of my favorites were Full Throttle. I remember like mowing lawns all summer to be able to buy that when I was a teenager, like still like in my late like elementary school years. And Mark Hamill does a voice in that game, which is great. They did a game called The Dig, which Steven Spielberg wrote, which is pretty
Huh.
cool. It's like this alien planet kind of thing. You're like astronaut researchers and you crash there. So you play out the story, which is really cool. And then one of my favorite games of all time, one of the best games of all time, if you look at any list, it's always up there on the top. And that's Grim Fandango, which is a really amazing point and click adventure game. It takes place like on the Day of the Dead, and it was released in 1998, and that was kind of the last kind of hurrah for these point and click adventure games before they kind of went full bore into more of those Star Wars stories. You had like the episode 1 stuff was coming out, the movie tie-in game, Racer, and then Bounty Hunter, stuff like that. It was really kind of where the LucasArts stuff went. But Cassia, it doesn't necessarily have to be just LucasArts. You mentioned some of the Star Wars games. Were there other just kind of video games that you liked or were more interested in, or even now, that we've grown up a little bit, but still obviously love our video games? Were there certain like genres of games or certain stories of games or anything like that you were really drawn to?
Yeah, LucasArts, they had a really kind of wide wheelhouse. It wasn't just Star Wars. Like George Lucas, I kind of think he's like one of those figures, kind of like Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, or
Mm-hmm.
Jim Henson, kind of just creative and really changed the world of entertainment and our world. There's lots of great video game series in LucasArts history. I forgot to mention Pokemon. Like,
Oh, okay.
I think the last one I really played was like the Pokemon Silver and Gold, and I was like, I'll get both games because they're probably way different. And it's like, oh, they're basically the same, but you just capture a different creature. And I accidentally sold, is it called the Master Pokeball or something that you're able to capture Mewtwo in? And
Oh, I don't know.
I was so sad. I was like, I sold it. I don't know what to do. I guess I better just save my game, And then it's like, oh, looking back on it, like that was a mistake, little Cassia,
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon was fun. And I loved Uncharted. Still love Uncharted. I was kind of the movie that came out, kind of like loved it, hated it, did not accept it as my god, like that's my review for that movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like so many girls' nights we would just like play Uncharted. Like I'm still working on the fourth one. Like I've just been busy kind of like ever since like grad school, and then kind of just working. Like I would love to, be able to finish like Jedi Fallen Order, but what I do is I kind of watch other people play and like
Yeah, there you
play
go.
vicariously, because I think Jedi Fallen Order is really good. Loved Uncharted. I'm getting into Mario Kart again because
Oh,
of
nice.
how old my some of my family members are. So, and it's fun to kind of reconnect with like childhood games. That they keep on improving the graphics, but it just always feels like Nintendo. And I think like Nintendo kind of is they kind of capture like the family entertainment. Kind of keep it about the love of the game rather than like, look at these graphics, they're so cool,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like you said, I will say about the movie Uncharted on a side note. It was a good movie. It was a fun time, but it did make me want to go back and play those games again. So maybe mission accomplished there, because they're really fun. And yeah, it's funny you said that about Mario Kart. We were actually just had some friends in town, and that was one of the things we did. We were playing Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch, and now we have a lot of Star Wars games on the Nintendo Switch. So there's just the Knights of the Old Republic port came to that. You can get Bounty Hunter on there. Jedi Academy is on there, and I think Jedi Outcast is going to be coming out in the very near future on the Nintendo Switch. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, definitely look into getting some of those games if you want to, revisit some times from your childhood, have a good time. That's certainly a good way to do it. And yeah, it's mostly just, being excited about this new Lego Star Wars project finally coming out. It's going to be all 9 films. I think there's some supplemental stuff. I think I've seen stuff for like Bad Batch going to be on there, probably Mandalorian stuff going to be on there. But
Yeah.
what about the Lego games, Cassia? Did you ever play any of the Lego Star Wars games or any of the other Lego games?
I actually got the first one that came out. It was Lego Star Wars. It was just the prequels. And then I ended up getting the follow-up, which was the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy all in one disc. And I'm just and then I think there were like some Clone Wars ones I didn't end up getting. And then I think there was like a version with the sequels, and then this is like the ultimate edition, like, and I'm very impressed with it because it looks like they're like revamping everything. And it's just a unique experience. And just like with the blaster, like I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. Like it's not just like button mashing.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the neat things. I've played it. I guess it's the Skywalker Saga, probably is what it's called. That has the first 6 films on there, and I like those games because if you have like younger ones, or I'd play it with like my nephew and stuff, like they're easy enough for kids to get into, but there's enough to do to kind of capture your attention. To try to find different things, and then the humor in those games is always really fun. So just definitely excited for that to be coming out. We do have, I don't know that it's really news, but I did see that Jedi Fallen Order 2, they are rumored to have the trailer for that is going to be going up at Celebration. So I guess we'll have to see if that's true or not. But that wouldn't surprise me because I think it's scheduled to come out at the end of the year. So that would be cool. I'm playing back through that again a second time, which is fun. Now that I kind of know the story, I can take a little bit more time and explore and try to learn this stuff and explore the different tombs and things that you go down. So yeah, so we'll have to see if anything comes of that, or if there's any more kind of KOTOR news around celebration. I haven't seen really too much out of the Aspire team. I was on their LinkedIn today, and they haven't posted any new jobs for quite a while. So I'm guessing that they're pretty much fully staffed and just going to town on this thing. So that's good. I'm excited to see where that leads us for Kotor. And we've talked a little bit about the what we hope to get out of that game, and if they're going to make any changes, what we'd like to see and things like that. So
I think
pretty
we'll
fun stuff.
hear more about the KOTOR remake probably next year's celebration, because I think it would be like nice if it came out, like 20-year anniversary, 2003 to 2023.
And that would be pretty good timing, because I think the original game, I want to say, came out like in November of that year, so they could probably almost, I guess, depending on how their progress is coming, maybe even aim for a similar release date, kind of pull a Kenobi here and release it on the same day as the original. That would be pretty cool. So
that would be cool. But yeah, I'm a fan of Aspire, what they're doing, their ports, very high quality. I'm excited to see them kind of bring the KOTOR remake to life. I've been intrigued by the teaser trailer, and I think it's a great story that could definitely have some new touches. And I embrace change. I think maybe I should be maybe some people would be like, I think she should hesitate more and not just accept everything. But I don't know. It's just kind of nice that we're finally getting the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I guess the new delayed game will be Star Wars Eclipse, that I'm hearing it'll come out in 2027, and it looks good. But I kind of hope that they kind of maybe it could switch studios, or maybe there could be some actions to kind of clean up the studio. I don't know. It's a mess.
It is a mess. I don't want to get too much into speculation, but some of the stuff that I've been reading about and kind of the lengthy delay is just that they're having trouble filling a lot of these roles for the game, filling jobs at Quantic Dreams. So so hopefully some leadership changes will happen, or studio changes will happen, because the trailer looks great, but I'd feel more comfortable if it was in different hands, probably. And definitely excited about the Aspire remake. So have to keep an eye on that. Keep an eye out for any extra news, and keep an eye out on the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/astro_droid_, because my plan is Lego Star Wars comes out on April the 5th. So that is a Tuesday. I'm planning to, hopefully, if everything goes right, to kind of stream it there, a couple of times that week. So definitely, keep an eye there on that. And I want to, get back into some of the older LucasArts games, revisit my childhood. Maybe, if you're younger and don't remember these games, give people a chance to see them, because I think that would be pretty fun in a good way. And because, like you said, Cassia, it is really hard now. The thought of turning on Uncharted 4 and sitting down for 40 hours to play it, that seems insurmountable. But I could totally watch someone else do it, I think. So.
Yeah, but I guess we can add another role to your skill set. You're not just a co-host; you're a pro streamer now. So
I am a pro streamer. I don't know about that, but I am going to have some fun with this Lego Star Wars game when it comes out. So
what are you most excited for in that game?
Oh, I don't know. I'm excited. Well, because I've played. Kind of the first 6 episodes. I never played any of the stuff for Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and that stuff. So I'm excited to see what that stuff kind of looks like, and I'm excited to see just how big the worlds are. Now I know back on my PlayStation, I guess it was the PlayStation 3 that I had it on. They were kind of linear in the story, but from what I'm hearing, there's a lot more opportunity for exploration and things like that. It's a little bit more open world, if you will. Yeah. So I'm excited to see just exactly what all you can get into, and kind of humorous bits you can find and stuff you can unlock. So yeah, I'm just excited to see it, and see what it looks like. It's been a long time in the making. So, yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of Kingdom Hearts that I realized I forgot to mention, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And then there was too long of a gap for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out for me to still be invested. So, I'm sure it's a good game. I just never picked it up. You can go back to episode, was it 88? We actually talked a bit about Kingdom Hearts 3. So,
oh, yeah, that's right.
And
yeah,
Frozen.
With Marcus, yeah. We talked about Frozen. We talked about Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I think that was when we covered, that was the day they announced the remake coming out. So.
Yeah, I also had a cold then. So, like, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, I was meant to have a cold today to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 again. But
I think you're channeling your inner child. Just you're dialing up a sick day so you can stay home and play video games all day, which is what you should do on a sick day, I think. So
definitely. But I don't know. It just looks like a fun game. Like you can start like at episode 1, 4, or 7, and like it looks like a really fun Star Wars game that I think everyone can get behind. I'm sure there's probably some people that are like, I even found something to be angry about even here. But, like, the majority of us, I think, are just on the light side and we're being positive. And, yeah, like,
absolutely.
One thing I'm excited for, can you guess?
No, I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of things, but
Mumble mode.
Mumble mode. That's right. Yeah, that is a key feature of the Lego games, and I think you can turn that on and off. So if you've been having trouble, understanding Cassia, if her cold is going on, it's because she's in Mumble mode. We forgot to deactivate it.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up. We just wanted to, like I said, we wanted to talk a little bit about kind of a very brief, very glossed over history of Lucasfilm Games into LucasArts and back into Lucasfilm Games, and just talk a little bit about kind of some memories we had playing them and what we were excited about coming out in the future. And yeah, just a fun little episode. So let us know if you're listening out there, what Star Wars games are your favorites, or what just regular video games are your favorites, or if you like any of those point and click adventure games, or if I am alone in my love for those. Let us know all that stuff, because we definitely want to interact with you and find out your favorite games so we can check them out. And if you have recommendations for what I should play on the Twitch channel, now that I'm a semi-professional amateur streamer, nonprofit, yeah, let us know all that stuff, and let us know if you're picking up Lego Star Wars, and hopefully we'll catch you on the Twitch channel. And, come check us out on Twitter, all that stuff. And make sure, a really good thing to do while you're playing video games is to have some lo-fi playing in the back. And we just released some new lo-fi over on the YouTube channel. Now, if you're a patron on Patreon, you got a sneak preview of that. So check that out. It's patreon.com/oldrepublicpodcast. That gets you like early access to stuff like special YouTube videos, gets you access to the special channel on our Discord server, episode and show notes, all that kind of stuff. So go check that out. It's a lot of fun. We're having a really good time over on Discord. So that link is in my bio on Instagram. But I think that wraps it up for video games, Cassia.
Yeah, and occasionally, once in a while, we get an episode that's not an hour plus. So, like, for those who don't have that much time to, like, invest, like, I think this will be about 30 minutes. So, yeah.
That's right. Use your extra 30 minutes we saved everyone this week and spend that playing Lego Star Wars, and let us know what you think about it. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us this week, talking video games, and may the Force be with you.
Here we go.
Mumble mode deactivated.